the space where school leaders like you gain unfiltered insights from educators, uncover the hidden barriers holding your staff back, and get practical strategies to lead with confidence. If you're ready to tackle the real challenges in your schools and create the clarity your team needs to thrive, you're in the right place. Let's dive in and get to work. Hello, Happy New Year, courageous school leaders. Welcome back. It is 2026, a brand new year. And so I want to welcome you back to Lead Beyond Limits, where some of the things have shifted a little bit just because of some of the needs that I'm seeing with the clients that I'm working with. So the original Clarity and Confidence guidebook has now been revamped and will be available for next week's Lead Beyond Limits, which is January, I believe, the 12th. So I want to welcome you to Lead Beyond Limits. This space is for school leaders who are thoughtful, capable, and tired of having to rebuild the same priorities over and over again. So if you're here live or catching the replay, I'm glad you made the time, because this series isn't about motivation or quick fixes. It's about how strong leaders hold focus when the pressure shows up. All right, let's get into it. So this is January. January feels like a reset because we actually want it to be one. I remember as a principal thinking about the reset. A new calendar, new intentions, same leadership reality by Wednesday though, right? Here's the uncomfortable thing that is true. Time does not reset leadership. If it did, most schools wouldn't feel the same pressure every single January. Strong leaders don't need a reset, and strong leaders don't struggle because they lack clarity. Au contraire, they struggle, like I did, because clarity isn't protected once it shows up. Because we have the clarity, we know where we want to go and what we want to do. But the things that happen during the week that interrupt the motion, the momentum towards clarity, or keeping the clarity, I should say, that's where the pressure shows up. So I've worked with leaders who start January very clear, right? With this reset in mind. They know their priorities, they've named the focus, they're confident walking in on Monday or whenever they come back to school. And then by midweek, meetings stretch, decisions tend to pile up, right? And the just for now becomes the default. We'll do this just for now till we have time to come back to it. And then the focus that they were so sure about at the beginning quietly tends to thin out, right? And it's not because we as leaders that we forget. You haven't forgotten. It's because you didn't guard it. Nothing in your focus was guarded, right? Not guarding it, not holding the line, right? Nothing was guarding it. Nothing was holding the line. Nothing was deciding what gets the airtime so that you can keep on that focus that you so adamantly created for yourself, right? Many leaders don't assume clarity is something that you arrive at. But clarity is something you have to maintain under pressure. That's the big piece. Maintaining the clarity under pressure. And January applies more pressure than most months. Why January, right? Because there are a lot of new initiatives, there's a lot of staffing shifts, there are behavior spikes, right? Kids coming back to school, it's like resetting their behavior because they've been gone for 1 or 2 weeks. Now you have your mid-year data, which adds another layer of pressure, right? Everyone's answers right now. What does your school look like? Why does it look this way? What do you need to do? Those kinds of things, right? So January doesn't test your vision, it tests your protection system. So the cost, let's talk about cost when this happens. When you're when you are not guarding your your vision, your clarity, when you're not guarding it, the real cost that happens, that occurs, is it isn't. You might think it's chaos. It's not chaos, right? The real cost is having to rebuild clarity every single week, re-explaining priorities, recentering meetings, realigning a team that didn't drift on purpose. That repetition feels responsible, but it's also very expensive. It's expensive and costly for you as a leader. So it's not costly in effort, right? But it's costly in your credibility. It's costly in your energy. It's costly in the momentum that you lose. Okay? So I need you to understand the strengths that you have as a leader, right? So strong leaders, you don't y'all don't reset more. You just protect better. That's what strong leaders do. They protect their clarity better, not resetting. So protection is not being rigid either, right? It's decision making before pressure decides for you. So it's not about motivation. This is really what we're talking about here is about maintenance, maintaining your clarity, which means you have to protect it, right? And so understanding this and knowing that this is an issue with how leaders are not guardrailing their clarity, this is exactly the reason why I'm hosting a Clarity Now Masterclass on Saturday, January 17th. So we can start the 2026 off in the right way. So it's not a webinar, right? This is not about, you're not going to get content overload, excuse me, in this master class. And it's also not about learning something new, right? This is specifically created as an interruption. Excuse me, right? It's created to create a moment for you to stop rebuilding and start deciding what is going to get protected before the semester tightens, before things come in and try to disrupt it, right? So it's $47 because this isn't just a commitment to me, it's a commitment to doing January differently. Okay? So if you're waiting for things to calm down before you reset how you lead, you're already late. I'm telling you right now. You don't need to decide today or tonight, right? But notice what keeps happening when you don't interrupt the pattern that you're seeing, that you're experiencing, when your clarity is not protected. So, all that said, January will keep moving. The question is whether your focus will move with intention or will it react to pressure again? So, the Clarity Now Masterclass is there if you're ready to protect what already matters. That's the work. That's the choice. Have a great afternoon.